Okay. Hey, everybody. It's Kathy Alessandra, your Yes, I Can coach. And we are on T minus a few seconds before we get to go live. Well, we are live, but before the official time of being live in our Facebook group, The Great Mind Reset, as well as on our YouTube channel. And unfortunately, this is the first time I've used Streamyard, which is a great tool. If you have not used Streamyard, check it out. It's a great tool. As you can see, there's a banner on this, and there's a banner on it from when I did a previous live class, and evidently it didn't get changed out. So anyway, it happens. It happens for sure. Technology, but it's a great tool to use. So again, it's Streamyard if you haven't used it before. So welcome. I'm Kathy Alessandra. I'm the Yes, I Can coach, and I'm going to be the one who's going to be walking you through the next 5 days of the Great Mind Reset. And I'm super excited to be sharing this time with you. If you're watching in our Facebook group, be sure to give Streamyard permission for it to access you, because then when you're putting comments into the Facebook group, I can see the comments on this stream, and then I can answer any questions, I can engage with you, I can, all those kinds of things. I can put other things in here. So just be sure that you give Streamyard access to be able to do that. You might not be able to do it while we're actually live. You may need to do it when we get off today if you haven't already done it. And as I said, I'll change out the banner. It's, one of those things. Technology, love it, hate it. Anyway, so just to do some housekeeping before we get too far going in this. So as I said, it's 5 days. So we're going to be here together Monday through Friday this week. We'll be here at 12 noon Pacific time, which is 2 p.m. Central time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern. And it will be coming through StreamYard. It will be showing up on our Great Mind Reset Facebook page, as well as streaming live on our YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So you can access it either way. If you aren't able to attend one day, no worries. We've got the recordings. They will be available on the YouTube channel as well as in the Facebook group. And so you'll be able to access those at any time. So again, if you aren't able to join us live here at noon Pacific time, then be sure to access that. You will get an email reminder each day. So you got one this morning that said we're going live in 15 minutes. You'll get another one with those links. So it's easy at the top of your inbox just to click on it and click on over and join us in the group. So be sure to look for those. And then in the afternoon, after the class, I will be sending a link to be able to watch the recording. But also, I'm going to be giving some fun handouts, some other tips and tools and resources for you to access. And that will all be in that afternoon email. So just take a look for that. Be sure you've whitelisted my email, Kathy@KathyAlessandra.com. Now, keep in mind, if there's anything you want to share, any questions you have, when you hit reply to that email, it comes only to me. I don't have anybody else that checks that email. That's my private email. And only I will be checking what it is that you're sending me. So if you have any questions, please feel free to connect with me on that. Okay. Again, for anybody who's just joined us, if you haven't given StreamYard permission to be able to see you in the Facebook group so that I can see your comments, please go ahead and do that too. So it'll make things much easier and more fun to be able to comment and for me to actually see it live in person at the time. So for those of you who are new, and I know there are a few people who are new to me in this class, I just want to give myself a quick introduction so that you know who I am and why I'm even doing this. So you've probably seen in some of the emails I've sent, I'm known as the Yes, I Can coach. Why am I known as the Yes, I Can coach? Because I've been there and I've done that and I walk my talk. I've had to sit in the muck and I've had to figure things out. I've gone through a divorce. I've had a child who struggled with some issues. I've had weight and health issues. I've had all kinds of things, and I have found the tools and resources and the steps to keep moving through that so that I can live that Yes, I Can life for me, for my family, right? What does it mean to live a Yes, I Can life? It means to live your best life. It means to be the best version of you that you possibly can be. And the only way to do that is to really step into doing the work that only you can do. I can give you tools and resources, but I can't actually do the work for you, right? It can be painful. It can be ugly. It can bring up the ugly cry even. But I'm telling you, when you get on the other side, when you start working through it and you see all the differences it can make, it can completely transform your life. Absolutely 100% completely transform your life. So as the Yes, I Can coach, I'm asked frequently, well, Kathy, if you're the Yes, I Can coach, how do I say no? Because I've got too many things already on my plate. Well, here's what I say. It's strategic yeses An abundant no's. A strategic yes. What are those things that you are absolutely 150% committed to? Not obligated to, committed to. Like being here, like learning and growing and expanding who it is that you want to be and how you want to show up, right? And doing some of these things that I'm going to be teaching. What are the things that are an obvious no to you? It's, I mean, people say, if it's not a hell yes, it's an absolute no, right? If it's not a strategic yes, it's a definite no. There is no question about it. You're able to just let that go. Now, no is a complete sentence. You don't need to give any explanation. You can add a thank you afterwards if you like. But I want you to step into really living your best life. Now, there is nothing selfish about this. There is nothing self-centered about this. It is all about you becoming the best version of you, because when you are, then and only then can you show up for the people that you really love in the best way possible. Significant other, spouses, kids, friends, business associates, right? When you are in that place of being your best self, then you can do that for everyone and everything. So super important to really embody that. So during these 5 days, we're going to go through a bunch of mindset exercises and talking about some tools and everything. It is called the Great Mind Reset, right? We're going to talk about dreaming today, dreaming big, and how we can get out of our own way and really see those big dreams. We're going to peel back some layers because there's lots of layers for each of us. We're going to begin that process. We're going to talk about blocks and obstacles that are keeping us stuck and how we can get those out of our way. And we're really going to talk about, now this is not all today, this is this week, right? We're going to explore that restlessness, right? That restlessness inside of us, those things that we're wanting to do or we're wanting to experience or we're wanting to go, right? And how that can actually be a call for what you really are meant to do, what that greater purpose is for you, and how it can really just uncover all of that. It can help you dig deeper into what that really is for you. And then the very last day, we're going to be creating that plan. So when you leave here at the end of this week, you're going to have tools and resources, but you're also going to have a plan that you can put in place for at least the next 90 days to work towards those goals so that you kind of know where you're going. So you get up in the morning and you're able to face the day head on, and you know what that most important thing is you want to get done. That's going to help you live that greatest life, right? All about mindset. It all starts in the head. It all starts in our mind, right? Absolutely. Everything starts with mindset. Everything. If our mindset is off, for example, we get up and we stub our toe on the bed and, it's painful. And it can send our day just down into a spiral if we don't turn it around immediately, right? It's when we think those negative thoughts, when we're coming up against those negative people. That's why I say to everybody, do not get on your cell phone or any type of device where you're going to check email and check text messages and check social media, the worst, first thing in the morning, which can absolutely take you off your path, right, of your greatest good for that day. So it's setting your mindset beginning each day. I start with routines and rituals. For me, that's getting up and getting my coffee, but then it's sitting down in a place of quiet and solitude and silence. I'm reading my Bible, I'm praying, I'm meditating, I'm journaling. I am in that place of quiet so that I get peace before I ever start my day, before I ever open up anything else, because then I'm able to face it being the best version of me that I can be, right? And not let somebody else's emergency or challenge or whatever it is take me down that path. So you got to start there. We got to start with our mindset. We'll talk more about that in a bit. So today is really all about dreaming big and how we're going to start dreaming big, right? Because, unfortunately, there's many people who have those dreams and they squash them down and they don't really step up and want to live that big dream out of fear, out of a gazillion different reasons, right? So last night, I got a call from somebody. So I do a lot of ministry work and I'm a Stephen minister. And if you don't know what that is, I can Google it. But I got a call from a gentleman who I'm working with. And it was, it broke my heart, really. And the fact that it ended up being the day before this first session. So he's in a place of extreme unhappiness, just lonely as can be, and is using alcohol to numb it. And in that place of drunkenness, for lack of any better word, trying to help him sit in that pain with him, right? Hear him, listen, really hear, really listen what's going on. and be there with him. And it was so hard not to, ask those questions, right? Because if somebody's in that place, particularly if they're numbed out on alcohol or drugs, it's going to be hard for somebody to really listen to those questions. But when he sobers up, I want to talk to him, or anybody, right? I want to talk to you about how can we dream our biggest dreams, not pretend that things are all perfect or that we can never reach those goals and those dreams that we want to, because we can. What was being said to me over and over again is I can never live that life. I can never be, I'll never find somebody to love. I'll never be successful, right? And here's the thing, and this goes with mindset. When we are constantly in that place of negativity, when I can't, I won't, is what our play is in our brain over and over, that tape is over and over again, well, that self-fulfilling prophecy is going to come true. If you truly believe you can't do it, you won't be able to, right? That's why we really need to work on this mindset piece and look at those bigger goals and dreams for you, for yourself, for your family, for your business, for your finances, for your relationships, whatever it is, right? To be able to step into that and really embody and embrace that. And it starts with dreaming big. And I'm not talking about, dreaming about the fancy car or the fancy house. Sure, you can do that too. But I'm really talking about dreaming about who you want to become and how you want to show up in life. So, it starts with, well, here's a question for you. What are you pretending not to know? What are you pretending not to know? That's a question that was asked to me a couple of times in some very dark moments. And when you pause and think about that and really ask yourself, what am I pretending not to know? Sometimes we're numbing that answer with alcohol or food or spending or social media, whatever that is, right? The social media scroll. But when we're really able to stop and ask ourselves, what am I pretending not to know? What am I pretending? What is so scary out there that I am pretending not to know it so that I don't have to deal with it? So I don't have to live it. So I don't have to show up, right? What was I pretending not to know was that my marriage was over, right? But when I was able to let go of that, when I was able to surrender and move forward, then I was able to get back to my big dreaming. So when we're looking at dreams and big dreams, and I want you to think about the big dreams, right? There's two things that can get in our way. What are they? Well, there's a lot of things, but there's two main things that can get in our way. Toxicity. Toxicity is the killer of dreams. And clutter. And I'm not just talking about clutter on your desk. I'm talking about clutter in your life. So let's talk about those two things real quickly. When we talk about toxicity, it can be toxicity in relationships. It can be toxicity in your thoughts and how you think about money or how you think about yourself. It can be toxicity in relationships and the negativity that somebody has towards you or what you want to do. Have you ever been in that situation where you share your dream with somebody and they're like, you can't do that. What a dumb dream, or that's not going to work, or, right? Have you been? I'm sure you have. I know I have. I would be surprised if you hadn't as well. In fact, I would love to hear your comments. If you're on the Facebook page, comment away because, well, I can't see it here on the Streamyard if you haven't given permission to Streamyard. But there are people who come into our lives and it's like they want to suck the life out of us, right? They want to suck the air right out of the room because you want to go someplace. You want to do something. You want to be bigger and be the best version of yourself. And that may scare them. They may not understand, right? So toxicity, how can you face and get over the toxicity, right? Of all these other things. News, toxicity in news is huge, right? Again, that can take us down that negative path. Social media, oh my God, social media is just toxic. So how can you stop it? How can you not look at it? How can you move through it? How can you not let it bring you down? The second thing was clutter. Right now, I'm talking about clutter in our heads, clutter in our hearts, clutter in our physical space, clutter in our bank accounts. It's all those things. And when we've got that much clutter that's going on in our lives, we need to find a way to declutter. I'm sure you've had this experience where maybe you've had a counter that's just crammed full of stuff, and you find a way to get rid of all that and put it in its proper place. And there is a sense of, right? I'm sure you've experienced it. I have no doubt, right? So if we're able to do that with other things too, right? getting the clutter of the relationships, the ones who don't matter and who are bringing us down and aren't really there to support us, or that we're there to support them, right? How can we let that go? In our hearts, how can we let the clutter go? In our physical space, how can you get things cleaned up and cleared off? In your business, right? If you've got products and services and programs that are just kind of hanging out there, get rid of them, right? Get focused, get rid of the clutter, get rid of the toxicity and the clutter. Of course, we're going to talk about fear as well. And because fear can be a huge stopper of dreams, right? It's like, who am I to do this? I had this conversation this morning. I had this huge conversation this morning with a couple of people. We were talking about the fear of stepping into that greater purpose, which we'll talk about when we get closer to the end of the week. When you feel that nudge, when you feel that calling, when you know there's something else greater and bigger that you're supposed to be doing with your life, and you're afraid to step into it because you're afraid what others are going to say, what others are going to think. Maybe you're not smart enough, or you don't think you are, or you don't have those extra letters after your name, or whatever the case may be, right? It's getting out of that fear. They say fear is false evidence appearing real, right? Let's really look at fear. How many of the times are there things when you really look at that and you think, what would be the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen really isn't that bad. Maybe you fall down. I've had great successes and I've had epic failures, but I'm not even going to call them failures, because every failure I've had is really a lesson. Right? If I'm able to take those things, so if I'm able to move that fear aside and allow to happen what's ever meant to happen, and take those lessons instead of failures to be able to move forward to the next thing, then I'm just going to continue growing my success. And I do believe that. I do believe I have been through all these various things to get to the next place that I'm going. But if I don't even want to open that up and I'm just going to keep that closed, then I'm not going to take those lessons to be able to move forward. Yes, Brooke, mental clutter is real. There is no doubt about that. That's stuff in our head. Oh, God, it used to just stop me. I think I've shared this a few times, although if you're new to me, you may not have heard this. So I had a family member who actually said to me at one point when I decided not to go back to college, so this was at age, 19? How do you expect to hold an intelligent conversation without a college degree? How do you expect to hold an intelligent conversation without a college degree? And I grabbed onto that. It was somebody that I respected at the time, right? And I held on to that thought about myself for years. Who was I? I wasn't smart enough. I didn't have a college degree, right? So how could I really now? I had a successful business. I had kids that were doing great, but I didn't really step into owning my worth, owning my value, because I let somebody else's toxic thoughts of that get into my heart and clutter my mind to be able to move through that next piece, right? So we've got to clear the clutter, the toxicity and the clutter. Now, when you're looking at dreams, and I'm talking about really dreaming big here, I want you to look out. I mean, especially as we're here at the Great Mind Reset, right? Yes, we have been through hell and back the last few years. It is difficult. Life has changed as we know it. We are still having struggles, right? But if we continue to stay in that place of negativity and, oh my gosh, what's next? And which virus is going to pop up? Whatever, right? If we continue to stay in that place, we're never going to actually able to see and reach those dreams and that success that we're wanting to see. And I'm not talking about just business success. I'm talking about success in all areas of our life, in everything from relationships and, friendships, significant others, to having that success in your bank account and your wealth, in retirement, in savings, to finding that success in the things that light you up, right? I mean, just even learning to play the piano or taking a new art class, right? That's what I mean when I talk about success. It's living your greatest life, living your best life, right? So I want you to look at that big dream and look a year out, look 3 years out, look 5 years out, look further than that if you like. I had done an exercise with a woman when I first started this process, 10 years ago. And she had us do an exercise where she actually had us close our eyes. And she had us visualize what life would look like in 3 months, and what life would look like in 6 months. And then she had us picture and visualize what life would look like in a year. Now, that 3 month and that 6 month vision, I couldn't get it. It was like a TV screen, the static when it's not actually focused in, tuned in. But that year, I could see as clear as day. I knew exactly what it was. It was when I started my Yes, I Can journey. And that first thing for me was that I had to get my health back. I had to be in control of my health. And that was something I could control, right? And I was able to picture myself. I was able to visualize myself exactly where I wanted to be with a healthier body and a healthier mindset at a specific event that I knew was coming up a year from then. That's the kind of dreaming and visualization that I want you to do, because it can be transforming. It can be such a change. I laid down in bed every single night during that time period and visualized myself in that dream for me, in where I would be, in what that looked like, and who would be in my life, and what relationships would be playing a part, in how I looked, and how I felt, and how I showed up, and how I served, right? And I want you to do the same thing. And that's this first step, because when you have that dream, when you have that vision for yourself, then it's easier to get out of your own way. It's easier to move the clutter aside. It is easier to flip the switch on that toxicity. It's easier to get yourself out of fear by using that fear as fuel to move forward, right? If we have that big vision for ourselves, if we are just living day to day, if we are just living for whatever is going on in the next moment, and that may be determined by what the news has to say, or whether my car starts or not, or whatever it may be, right? If I'm living my life like that, then I'm never going to find the true joy and happiness and fulfillment that I know I want in my life and that I want for you. So I want you to do some dreaming today. And I'm going to actually, these calls won't go more than 30 minutes. And today I'm actually going to end a few minutes early because I want you to get off and do a little exercise with me. We're going to look at dreaming big. And I want you to start by thinking about, what is it that you are feeling? Well, what's that burning desire? What's that burning desire that you keep ignoring? Maybe you have that, we all have that gut feeling about something that we're really wanting to do. And explore. And it may be business-wise. It may be a hobby you're wanting to start. It may be, starting finding more friends, having a relationship, whatever it is. What is that thing that's in your gut that's a burning desire for you, and you keep pushing it down or pushing it aside, and you're not really allowing it to bubble up? I also want you to look at that in the sense of what your greater purpose might be. Right? Is it, doing some volunteer work? Is it whatever it may be, right? What is it that you're stepping into? What is it that you need to be doing, and everything else is getting in the way, and you're allowing everything else to get in the way, right? So when we're doing the streaming, we're going to think about that. I want you to think about what you're saying no to, but clearly should be a yes. People are telling you should be doing it. You should be doing it. Your loved ones are, pushing you in that direction. You feel that calling towards it, whatever that may be. That's what I want you to think about dreaming about. And I'm going to give you some actual sentences to think about here. And I want you to go inside into that internal guidance system that you have and actually do a hot penning exercise around it. Now, you may be saying, Kathy, what is hot penning? Hot penning is actually where you set your timer for 10 minutes. You get out a journal or a piece of paper or whatever you want to use, and you put your pen down on the paper, and you start writing the answers to the questions I'm going to give you in a stream of consciousness way. And if you don't know how to start, if you're not sure what to say when you first start, you start writing. I don't know what to write. 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 And I guarantee you, if you're willing to sit in this for a minute and even do that, the thoughts and the feelings will start flowing. And that 10 minutes is going to go faster than you can possibly imagine, right? You may think 10 minutes sounds like a long time, but it's not. So I would encourage you, if we're getting off here early today, to find a quiet place. If you've got kids, hopefully even on the East Coast, they may still be in school, or maybe you do it this evening when you're going to bed. Find a quiet place, maybe light a candle, maybe pull up your favorite blanket, or get a cup of hot tea or something, or coffee, something that kind of fills your soul. Get your phone, turn off all the other notifications, set the timer for 10 minutes, or maybe pull a different timer over, and start hot penning. And here's the question that I want you to hot pen on today. What is your big vision or dream for your life? Now, mind you, I will send this to you in email, so you don't have to write it all down, but you'll get the general idea. What is the big vision for your dream or life? What are your dreams? I want you to dare to spell them out, being as specific as possible about where you're living, what you're doing, who's in your life, what passions you're pursuing, all those things, the relationships you're nurturing, friends, significant other or spouse. I want you to look at all of it, and I want it in detail. If you want to think that you want to move to Montana, right? I want you to write in that, right? Think about at least a year out, please. Preferably 3 to 5, right? Look at that big dream for you. And if all you can think about is a year from now, or maybe it's just only 3 months, start there. What does it look like? What's that big dream? Write out all your feelings. Write out your relationships, the financial impact this has on your life, where it is and what it looks like. And write it as though you're living it now, right? So that you're actually going to be writing about this. Let's say you decide to do it a year from, you're thinking a year from now, right? I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm living in Montana in a beautiful cabin, and I'm looking at the mountains, and my husband is sitting with me, and my children are coming to visit. I actually work on a daily basis on Zoom, and I'm able to connect with my clients, right? That's the kind of talking that I'm talking about when I'm talking about the hot penning, right? Really doing that, because what's going to happen is you're going to go back and you can tweak it, and you can add to it and you can change it, but then you're going to use that as a visualization tool, rereading it on a regular basis. Maybe even if it's a shorter term goal, as we get to the end and talk about creating the plan, it may even be visualizing it each night as you're going to sleep, or maybe reading it each morning when you wake up. But that's the start to resetting your mind, right? It's not living in the here and now and the panic and the chaos of the frenetic energy that's going on all around us, right? It's moving that out. It's setting your intentions. It's writing out your dreams. It's putting it all out there so that you can be in that place of support and foundation and be able to really carry that out and live those dreams, living your best life. So again, I will send you those questions, but it's a hot pen. So you set your timer for 10 minutes. You're going to start with that big dream and vision. I'm trying to put the two words together, and start hot penning what that looks like in the present, right? I mean, in the present tense, but a few years out, if you can. Okay. And that's the first step to resetting your mind. That's the first step here in the great mind reset. So we will be back here again tomorrow, same time, 12 noon Pacific time, 2 p.m. Central, and 3 p.m. Eastern time. You can watch the replay in the Facebook group. You can watch it on the YouTube channel. I will send you links in an email each day with, again, for today, it'll be these questions. And you know what? I may pop in a little special handout about some self-care ideas, because self-care is absolutely critical. It is not selfish. It is something you need to do to be able to fill yourself up so that, again, you can live that greatest life, to be able to serve and support those around you that you love, right? So I'll include that in the email today too. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, or you're struggling to figure out really how to do this or what that really should look like, hit reply. That email only comes to me. I guarantee you I'm the only one who is going to see it, and I will get back to you before the next class, as long as it's not a couple minutes before. If you haven't already, I can see Brooke. She gave StreamYard access, so I'm able to see her comments. If you've got comments, I really would love to engage with you and have that conversation and support you in any way that I can, as we are resetting during the Great Mind Reset, so that we can step into the second half of 2022 and find that success that you desire by the end of this year. All right, I will see you tomorrow. Again, if you have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I hope you have a great afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye-bye.